Hello! Okay, so I'm having one of my thought moments, and I just wanted to share it. So I'm driving along and I'm thinking about, just random things. And I did a training at the weekend that was about why people quit so soon in their business. They start their own shop like it's a shop in the high street, and then they are never present in it, like they don't actually work in it. It's just an empty shop front with products in the window. And I was thinking about why people do this in an Arbonne business, because it's a bit mental really, isn't it? Imagine buying like a franchise and opening your shop in the high street and having like a grand opening, and then the week later you're not in there, it's not open, it's closed, nobody's like gone and opened the shop up. And that is exactly what it's like with their online business. So I was thinking about this and I was thinking, why do people do this? And I did a training on it on Sunday night, and I know Jane Brown is training on it this Sunday about why people get quitting syndrome, and it usually boils down to doubt. But another thing I was thinking about is, imagine if so for example, my husband has decided to start his own tiling business, and there's no way that he's going to decide that his dream is worth giving up on if all of his friends and family don't want their bathrooms and kitchens tiling because it's already been tiled, they can't afford it, or for whatever reason they're not his client base. He's not going to quit on his dream because of that. He's not going to rely on his friends and family to support his dream. He's going to get the word out there and talk to people he doesn't know, because there are people out there that want their kitchen and bathroom tiling. He's just got to go and find them. And I was thinking about how people are introduced to this business, and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, if somebody rang me up and said, oh Danny, I've got this amazing opportunity for you, you can train to be a hairdresser, all the training's provided, you get your own like mini franchise, you drive around to people's houses and you cut their hair, I'm like, all right, okay. And if they said, oh, you can earn like £2,000-3,000 a week, I'm like, okay, look into it. I don't actually have a deep desire to be a hairdresser, I don't actually have that passion. So if somebody else was telling me about it and they showed me how to train to be a hairdresser, I don't think I'd be all in. I'd be a bit like, oh well, they've sort of told me about it, they've said it's good, it's their passion, they're excited, I'm attracted to their energy, their excitement. But actually, would I do the work to make my hair salon a success, or my mobile hairdressing? Probably not, because it's not really what I want to be doing. It just doesn't fill me with excitement. But if I did decide one day I would love to train to be a hairstylist, I would love to. And if I went out my way to seek the help to do that, to find the help, if I found a coach or a mentor or a support person and rang them up and said, oh, I hear that you support and coach people to become hairstylists from home, have like their own little mini franchise, drive around to people's houses, this is what I want to do, can you help me? They'd be like, yeah, of course. There's no way that I wouldn't run with my dream, because it's my want, it's my passion, my design. I'm seeking out somebody else to help me. And sometimes I think that's where we go wrong when we introduce Arbonne to people and we talk about them setting up their own shop, their own business. It's all about what we want. So when we speak to people, we're like, I can help you do this, and I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do that for you, I'm going to do that for you. But actually, it's not really about us. It's about the person in front of us, what they want, and can we be a coach for them? Because if you sort out someone to be a running coach, it wouldn't be them dragging you all the time. Yes, of course, to some extent, they're going to motivate you and support you and help you, but you have to meet them halfway. If they plan, if your running coach or your PT instructor plan to meet you at a certain place, and you were asking for their help and support and paying for it, probably you have to meet them halfway and you have to show up. You would never see a running coach or a PT instructor that was constantly going, this is when training is, be on training, be on this call, read this, have a look at this book, do this CD. And if they weren't giving them anything back, they'd just be like, well, I'm not going to coach you anymore. And that is how we need to be in Arbonne. I'm not saying for a second just cut everybody off, I'm not suggesting that, but only coach people that want you to coach them. And you might have to sponsor 10 people that start their own shop. Yes, it's online, but imagine in your head like a shop on the high street. So you might have 10 shops set up all over the UK, and only 1 or 2 of them want you to actually coach them to have that shop running 24/7. And yes, we don't work 24/7, but we get back to people within 24 hours. So it is essentially a 24/7 online business, online shop. So out of those 10 businesses that are opened in your network, only a couple of them are going to want your support and coaching and mentoring and guidance. So if you were a PT instructor and you had 10 clients coming to your weekly boot camp, only a couple of them are going to be actually showing up and wanting your advice on nutrition, on what they should be doing at home, exercises. The rest of them are just going to be dipping and diving, and that's fine. Like, we can sponsor shops that are ran independently in our network, But if they're dipping and diving, that's absolutely okay, but don't spend your time coaching them unless they suddenly say to you, actually, I want you to coach me. And the way you'll know if somebody wants you to coach them is if they are listening to the advice that you're giving them. They must be showing up to the online weekly calls. If they're not on the online weekly calls, 99% of the time, they're not serious about the business. Things do happen, of course they do. You know, if they're working or if they've got things going on, absolutely understandable, but they at least need to be then watching the recording. If it's not a top priority for them, how can you coach and train them when they're not even listening to the weekly training that is provided voluntarily for free for them? You know, that's a big thing. They need to actually be opening their shop. Their shop needs to be opened every single day, whether that's for 1 hour or 10 hours, it doesn't matter, it needs to be opened. They need to be recommending products. They need to be booking appointments with people to share the business marketing plan. They don't have to get people, but they need to be talking to people, and they need to be advertising themselves as a brand, whether that's through social media, through word of mouth, through workshops, through one-to-one appointments, through business networking events, through networking. They need to be advertising themselves as a brand. You cannot coach somebody that is not serious about their shop like it is a high street shop, okay? So I hope that's been useful. That was the thoughts that have been going around my head while I was driving to pick my daughter up. I'm now just about to go in. I just wanted to record that just because I thought it was quite useful. So I hope that's been okay.